Imagine your own parents choosing your sibling over you. Abandoning you at 17, cutting off support, saying you're not worth it. You disappear, build an empire in silence for 15 long years. Then you buy their failing company. And fire them both on the spot. This is the coldest, most satisfying revenge story ever. Bitter revenge starts right now. I was 14 when my parents decided I wasn't worth keeping. My name is Ryan Caldwell. We lived in a quiet suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina. Big colonial house, 2-car garage, backyard with a basketball hoop my dad never used. My father, Robert Caldwell, owned Caldwell Manufacturing, a mid-sized auto parts supplier with 3 plants in the Carolinas. Steady contracts with Ford and GM, about $45 million in annual revenue, enough for private school, vacations to Myrtle Beach, and a new BMW every 3 years. My mother, Diane, managed the home and volunteered at the country club. They had 2 kids. Me, and my younger brother Tyler, who was 9 when everything changed. Tyler was the golden child from the day he was born. Blonde, blue-eyed, charming even as a toddler. I was the older one, dark hair like Dad's, quiet, good at math but bad at sports. I got straight A's, never got in trouble, fixed the computer when it crashed, mowed the lawn without being asked. Tyler got suspended twice in middle school, crashed the family car at 16, partied too hard. But he was spirited, full of life. I was just there. The shift happened gradually, then all at once. It started with small things. Tyler's baseball games took priority over my science fair. Mom missed my honor roll breakfast to pick Tyler up from football practice. Dad bought Tyler a new gaming PC for motivation while I used hand-me-downs. When Tyler wrecked Dad's car joyriding at 16, Dad laughed it off, boys will be boys. When I got a B+ in calculus, Dad said, you need to step it up, Ryan. Tyler's got potential. Then came the real abandonment. I was 17, senior year. College applications were due. I had a 3.9 GPA, 1520 SAT, captain of the robotics team, acceptance letters from MIT, Stanford, UNC Chapel Hill, all with merit scholarships. I asked my parents to co-sign student loans for the gap. MIT was expensive even with aid. Dad sat me down in his study. Ryan, we've decided to focus our resources on Tyler. He's got real athletic potential, scouts are looking. We're paying for his private coaching, travel teams, everything. We can't stretch ourselves thin for 2 kids. I stared. But I got into MIT. Full ride almost. Just need help with the rest. Mom chimed in from the doorway. Tyler's future is brighter. You're smart, you'll figure it out. Community college first, maybe. Or get a job. They didn't even blink. No apology. No, we're proud. Just, gone. I moved out 3 weeks later. Packed what fit in my old Honda Civic, drove to Raleigh, crashed on a friend's couch. Got a night job stocking shelves at Walmart, enrolled in community college part-time. Slept 4 hours a night. Ate ramen and free campus food. No family support. No birthday calls. No Christmas cards. Tyler got the full treatment, private tutors, elite camps, new truck at 17. He barely graduated high school, but Dad pulled strings. Donated to the Booster Club, got him a spot on a D3 college football team. Tyler flunked out after 2 semesters, came home, partied more. Mom and Dad kept funding him apartment, car payments, finding himself trips. I didn't speak to them for 8 years. I transferred to NC State on scholarships and loans, majored in mechanical engineering with a minor in business. Graduated with honors. Landed a job at a startup in Raleigh building EV battery components. Worked 80-hour weeks, saved every penny, learned supply chain software, networked like crazy. By 28 I had my first patent, a thermal management system that reduced battery degradation by 40%. The startup got acquired by a major player for $120 million. My equity stake netted me $4.2 million after taxes. I didn't blow it. I invested index funds, real estate, angel rounds in clean tech. At 30 I started my own company, Caldwell Thermal Solutions. Same name as Dad's old firm. Deliberate. Focused on next-gen cooling for electric vehicles. Landed contracts with Tesla, Rivian, GM. Revenue hit $18 million in year 3, $65 million in year 5. I kept it private, no VC dilution, bootstrapped with profits. I never told my parents. They didn't know where I lived, what I did. I changed my last name legally to Caldwell Reed. Reed was my mom's maiden name, ironic twist. No social media trail. They thought I was still figuring it out. 15 years after they cut me loose, everything aligned. Caldwell Manufacturing, the family business, was struggling. Auto industry shift to EVs killed demand for traditional parts. Supply chain issues, labor shortages, debt piling up. Dad's company was bleeding $2 million a year. He was 68, tired, no succession plan. Tyler had bounced between jobs, car salesman, real estate agent, failed, now consulting, unemployed. Mom was in denial. I watched from afar through anonymous searches and industry contacts. Then the opportunity came. The bank holding their $14 million line of credit was calling loans. Suppliers were demanding cash up front. Dad put the company up for sale, quietly. Asking price, $22 million. No takers. I formed a shell company, Apex Thermal Holdings. Through brokers, I made an all-cash offer, $18 million, take it or lose everything in bankruptcy. Dad had no choice. He signed. Closing day. Nondescript conference room in Charlotte. Dad and his lawyer on one side. My team, lawyers, accountants, on the other. Dad didn't know it was me until I walked in. He froze. Mom, sitting beside him, gasped. Ryan? Dad whispered. I sat at the head of the table. It's Ryan Caldwell Reed now. But yes. It's me. Silence. I slid the final documents across. You're selling Caldwell Manufacturing to Apex Thermal Holdings. Effective immediately. Purchase price. $18 million cash, wire transfer complete. All debt assumed and cleared. Dad's hands shook. You bought our company? Yes. And as the new owner, I'm making immediate changes. I turned to my COO. Effective today, Robert Caldwell and Diane Caldwell are terminated. No severance. No golden parachute. Security will escort them out. Mom started crying. Ryan, please, we're family. I looked at her calmly. You stopped being family when you chose Tyler over me. When you told me to go to community college while paying for his everything. When you didn't call for 8 years. This isn't revenge. This is consequences. Dad's voice cracked. We made mistakes. We were wrong. But the company, it's our legacy. Your legacy ends today. Tyler's legacy never started, he never showed up. I stood. The wire has cleared. You have 30 minutes to collect personal items. After that, the building is under new management. Security stepped in. They left quietly, Dad pale, Mom sobbing. Tyler wasn't even there, he was probably at a bar. I walked the factory floor later that day. Workers were nervous, layoffs coming? I addressed them, no layoffs. Better pay, profit sharing, new EV contracts. Morale shifted fast. That night, I sat in my Raleigh penthouse, looking at old photos, me at 14, science fair ribbon, parents smiling at Tyler's game. I didn't feel joy. I felt closure. 15 years after they abandoned me for the golden child, I bought their company. And fired them both. The first few months after the acquisition were quiet on the surface. I kept the company name, Caldwell Manufacturing, for continuity. No big rebranding, no press release. I let the employees think it was just another corporate buyout. I flew under the radar, remote board meetings, new COO from outside, quarterly updates via email. Dad and Mom were gone from the building the same day they signed. Tyler never showed up anyway, he hadn't worked there in years. I made changes fast but fair. Raised hourly wages 18%, added profit-sharing bonuses, rolled out 401k matching, installed new HVAC in the plants, upgraded safety gear. Turnover dropped. Productivity rose 22% in 6 months. We pivoted hard to EV components, battery cooling plates, thermal interfaces using tech I developed at my previous startup. Contracts rolled in. Rivian, Lucid, even a pilot with Tesla. Revenue climbed to $92 million the first full year under new ownership. I never told anyone it was me. Not the employees, not the suppliers, not the old family friends who still lived in Charlotte. I used the Caldwell Reed name everywhere: legal docs, emails, LinkedIn. Ryan Caldwell Reed, CEO of Apex Thermal Holdings. No photos, no bios linking back to the old Caldwell family. But word travels in small industries. A supplier rep mentioned it casually during a meeting. Heard the old man got bought out by some hotshot from Raleigh. Same last name, coincidence? I smiled and said nothing. Dad and Mom moved to a condo in Myrtle Beach, downsized, no ocean view. Dad tried consulting for a while, small machine shops, but no one bit. Mom volunteered at the local library, posted passive-aggressive Facebook updates about starting fresh and family is everything. Tyler bounced around. Tried real estate again, failed, opened a short-lived sports bar, closed in 8 months, now drove for Uber in Charlotte. He still lived rent-free in their old guest house until the house sold. They reached out once, through a mutual family friend who didn't know the full story. A polite email: "We're proud of whatever you're doing. Hope you're well. Love, Mom and Dad." I didn't reply. Tyler texted from a new number. "Hey bro, heard about some company stuff. Congrats or whatever. Need a loan? Just kidding, but seriously, can we talk?" Blocked. I focused on the kids, Ava and Ethan, from my previous life. No, wait, this is Ryan's story. I had no kids yet. I was 32, single, work-obsessed. I dated casually, nice women from tech meetups, engineers, marketers, but nothing stuck. Trust issues ran deep. I told myself I'd settle down after the company stabilized. 15 years after the abandonment, the final piece fell. Caldwell Manufacturing, old one. Had a small pension liability for long-term employees, about $3.8 million unfunded. Dad had promised to cover it personally if needed, verbal commitment from the 90s. When the sale closed, the liability transferred to me. I could have let it default, but I paid it in full, quiet wire transfer to the pension administrator. Then I sent Dad and Mom a certified letter. Pension obligations met. No further claims. This concludes all financial ties. Ryan Caldwell Reed. No warmth. No gloat. Just closure. That letter triggered it. Dad called my office line, somehow got the number. My assistant patched him through after I approved. "Ryan, son. We need to talk." I put him on speaker in my empty conference room. "I'm listening." He sounded old, voice thin, defeated. "We're losing the condo. Foreclosure notice. Tyler's in trouble, DUI, court fees. We have nothing left. Your mother's health, she's not well. We just need help. A little. Please." I let the silence stretch. "You had choices," I said finally. "You chose Tyler. You told me community college while paying for his camps. You didn't call for 8 years. You never asked how I was surviving. Now you need help?" Dad choked up. "We were wrong. We know it. We regret it every day. Tyler's he's not what we thought. We see that now. But you're our son. We love you. I almost laughed, cold, quiet. You loved the version of me that fit your plan. The one who didn't need anything. When I did need you, you walked away. Mom's voice in the background, please, Ryan. 4 old times. I ended the call. They showed up at my Raleigh office 2 weeks later unannounced. Security let them wait in the lobby because family. I watched on the camera feed, Dad in a faded polo, Mom in a cardigan she'd worn since I was in high school. They looked small. I had them escorted to a small meeting room, no windows, no view. I walked in alone. Dad stood. Mom stayed seated, hands shaking. I didn't sit. What do you want? I asked. Dad cleared his throat. We're out of options. The condo's gone next month. Tyler's facing jail time if he can't pay fines. We need $150,000. Just a loan. We'll pay it back. I looked at them, 2 people who once controlled my entire world. No. Mom started crying. Ryan, we're sorry. We were blind. Tyler was difficult. We thought he needed more. We were wrong about everything. I nodded slowly. You were. And now you're paying the price. I paid mine alone for years. I built this from nothing while you funded his failures. You don't get to come back now because it's convenient. Dad's voice cracked. What do we do? You figure it out. Like I did. Sell what you have left. Move somewhere cheaper. Let Tyler face consequences. Maybe he'll grow up. Maybe you will. I turned to leave. Mom whispered. We're proud of you, Ryan. The company, we know it's you. We're proud. I paused at the door. You're proud now because it benefits you. You weren't proud when I got into MIT. You weren't proud when I survived alone. Save it. I walked out. Security escorted them to the elevator. That night I sat in my penthouse, city lights below. I opened an old box, high school report cards, science fair trophies, the acceptance letter from MIT they never celebrated. I didn't burn them. I just closed the box. The next week I announced internally, Caldwell Manufacturing, now under Apex, would donate $500,000 to scholarships for first-generation college students in the Carolinas, no strings, no name attached. I never spoke to them again. Tyler tried one last time, showed up at my office drunk, yelling in the lobby about family money. Security removed him. Police report filed. Restraining order issued. Mom sent one last card, birthday, no money, just we miss you. I shredded it. 15 years after they chose the golden child, I had the company, the success, the life they never believed I could build. They had regret, debt, and silence. I didn't fire them again, they were already gone. But I made sure they knew, the golden child never shone. The abandoned one built the empire. And now, he owned everything they lost. The foreclosure on the Myrtle Beach condo happened 6 months after our last conversation. I didn't attend the auction. I had my real estate attorney monitor it quietly. The place sold for $285,000, well below what Dad paid in cash years earlier. Proceeds went straight to the bank for their remaining mortgage. Mom and Dad moved into a 1-bedroom rental in a less desirable part of Myrtle Beach, ground floor, no view, noisy neighbors. Dad took a part-time job at a hardware store. Mom worked mornings at a coffee shop. Tyler crashed with them for a while, then moved to a shared apartment in Charlotte with roommates half his age. I kept tabs through public records and industry whispers, no stalking, just due diligence. The pension payout I'd made cleared their names, but the shame lingered. Old friends from the country club stopped calling. The local paper ran a small notice, former Caldwell Manufacturing owner Robert Caldwell retires amid industry changes. No mention of the sale or me. Tyler's troubles escalated. DUI turned into a second offense, license suspended, fines unpaid. He tried to sue me once, frivolous claim that I'd stolen the family business. My lawyers dismissed it in summary judgment. He was ordered to pay my legal fees, $18,000. He couldn't. Wage garnishment started on his Uber earnings. Mom's health declined, early dementia symptoms, doctor visits they couldn't afford fully. Dad sold his golf clubs, mom's jewelry, even the family photo albums on eBay. They applied for Medicaid. Denied at first, assets from the sale still counted. I never intervened directly. I let consequences do the work. 3 years after the buyout, Apex Thermal Holdings, still branded Caldwell Manufacturing in the plants, hit $180 million revenue. We went public IPO on NASDAQ under ticker THRM. Shares opened at $42, closed at $58 on day one. My 68% stake made me a paper billionaire on paper. I cashed out 15% quietly, enough for generational wealth, trusts for future kids, still none, anonymous donations to engineering scholarships in North Carolina. The IPO made headlines in Charlotte business pages. Local boy Ryan Caldwell Reed takes former family firm to new heights. Photos of me on stage at the bell ringing, clean suit, no smile, just focus. That article reached them. Dad called my public line, assistant forwarded it after I said yes. Ryan, congratulations. We saw the news. I kept my voice even. Thank you. Silence. We're proud. Really. We were wrong. So wrong. We should have supported you. We see that now. I waited. Mom's voice joined, frail. Can we see you? Just once. We're not asking for money. Just to talk. To apologize in person. I considered it for a long moment. No, I said. Not yet. Maybe never. You chose silence for 15 years. You can live with a little more. I hung up. They tried one more time, sent a letter to my office. Handwritten. Mom's shaky script. Dear Ryan. We don't expect forgiveness. We don't deserve it. We failed you as parents. We chose the easy child over the strong one. We regret it every single day. Tyler is struggling, he's in rehab now, paying his own way. We're selling what little we have left to help him. We just want you to know, we're sorry. Truly. If you ever want to talk, we're here. Love, Mom and Dad. I read it twice. Then filed it away with the old report cards. No reply. Tyler reached out, last email from a recovery center address. Bro. I'm clean 90 days. First time in years. Mom and Dad are falling apart. I know I was the problem. I took everything they gave and gave nothing back. I'm sorry for being the reason they hurt you. If you ever want to meet, coffee or something, no pressure. Tyler. I stared at the screen. I didn't respond. But I made one quiet move, anonymous donation to his rehab center, $50,000 for scholarships for uninsured patients. No name attached. If he asked, they'd say a donor who believes in second chances. 5 years after the buyout, I was 37. Married now, to Elena, a civil rights attorney I met at a Tech for Good conference. We had a daughter, 6 months old, named Harper. No golden child favoritism. No comparisons. Just love. The company thrived, $320 million revenue, expanding to Europe and Asia. I stepped back from day-to-day, focused on R&D and philanthropy. Built a foundation. Full-ride engineering scholarships for first-gen students from single-parent or low-income homes in the Carolinas. Over 200 kids funded so far. No publicity. No name on buildings. Mom passed quietly, heart failure, age 71. Dad called my office to tell me. I took the call. She asked about you every day, he said. She wanted you to know she loved you. I swallowed. I know. He cried. Can I see my granddaughter? Just once? I paused. Maybe. When Harper's older. When you're ready to show up consistently. Not when it's convenient. He agreed. No argument. Tyler got sober, 2 years clean now. Works as a mechanic in a small shop. Pays his own rent. He sent me a photo of his sponsor coin. I liked the post from an anonymous account. That was enough. Dad lives in assisted living now, small room, paid by Social Security and what's left of the pension. He writes letters sometimes. I read them. I don't always reply. 15 years after they abandoned me for the golden child, the tables turned completely. They lost the company, the house, the status, the money. I gained the empire they never believed I could build. But the real victory wasn't firing them. It was choosing not to become them. I never favored one child over another. I never abandoned anyone who needed me. I built something lasting without resentment poisoning it. When Dad finally meets Harper someday, he'll see what real family looks like. And he'll know exactly what he threw away. Karma didn't need fireworks. It just needed time. And patience. And one son who refused to stay abandoned. That was Ryan's story. Abandoned, overlooked, forgotten. Then one man rebuilt everything they took away. He bought their legacy, fired them without mercy. And gave his own kids the love he never got. Karma doesn't shout. It waits, and when it arrives, it owns everything. If this revenge gave you goosebumps, smash that like button. Subscribe and hit the bell, next soul-crushing karma drop is coming. Comment right now. Were your parents fair? Or did they have a golden child too? See you in the next bitter revenge. Remember, what they throw away today, you can buy back tomorrow.